Hello, my name's Emma Cockrell. I'm a registered nutritional therapist and a whole food cookery teacher. Now we're in the second week of social distancing and having limited opportunities to get to the shops. We also may be facing the difficulty of having to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So how are we going to manage with the foods that we've got if we're not able to get out and go shopping as we normally would? So some of the ideas I'd like to share with you over the next few sessions would be to look at what foods stay well in the cupboard and that we can then introduce and incorporate into main meals, so we've got something nourishing and healthy to feed ourselves and our families over the days and weeks when we might not be able to get out very much. So most of us have got a tin of beans in the cupboard. I'm not talking about Heinz baked beans, I'm talking about beans that are ready cooked, like chickpeas or cannellini beans or butter beans or kidney beans. These beans that are ready cooked and then packaged into a tin or a packet. You can get them in Tetra Paks now as well. Or you may have the dried beans on your shelves in a jar and you forgot why you bought them such a long time ago. But they can be cooked very, very easily. Just soak them overnight and then bring them up to the boil and cook them at a full-on rolling boil for at least an hour until the beans are soft and give way between your thumb and finger very easily. So that's a very simple way of cooking dried beans, but for most of us we've actually got the tins of beans in the cupboard anyway. So we can use those, and that makes the job much, much more simple and quicker. So today I want to use two sorts of beans, but whatever you've got in the cupboard can be used. I've got here cannellini beans, which are small little white beans, very soft, they break very easily between thumb and finger. Cannellini beans and also some butter beans, good old butter beans. Now combined this is about 1 tin's worth, so I've used 2 types together, so half a tin of each. And butter beans are very creamy, and again they're nice and soft when you push them between your thumb and finger. Okay, so we're popping those into the bowl and we're going to make today some vegetable burgers. So very, very simple. You can adapt and flavour with the seasonings and herbs and spices that you've got in your cupboard, but I'll give you some ideas as a launching pad to use today. So what we're going to do first of all is just mash those beans down. We don't want to over process them, we want to keep some bite into the burgers, but just mash them down. So you can do this in a food processor, but we don't want to overdo it and make them puree. We just want them soft and mashed. Very simple, not too difficult. There we are. I can show you that they're not completely mashed right down. You can still see a bit of form of the beans, and that's absolutely perfect. So to that, we want to add a finely chopped onion. Now, if your family or you don't particularly like onion, one way around this is to grate the onion so you don't have actual pieces, but you can still get the flavour and the nutritional value of the onions into the dish. So we want 1 finely chopped onion, and then about a cupful of grated courgette. Now I've peeled this courgette, you can keep the skin on if you want, particularly if it's organic. I've peeled this, grated it down on a coarse grater, and we want about a cup's worth of grated courgette in there. We just stir that together, keep mashing those beans in. So this is enough to make 6 large burgers. You can make slightly smaller ones or make them into sausage shapes. Now, the fun comes here where we decide how we're going to season, how we're going to flavour these. And I'm going to keep these sort of herby, quite a sort of traditional English sort of flavour. So I'm going to use some sage, about a teaspoon of sage. And to that I'm going to add some dried chives. About 2 teaspoons of dried chives. We want these to be full of flavour. And then 1 teaspoon of a mixed herb blend. I'm using an Italian mixed herb blend here. And to that we want to add in some onion salt. I've mentioned this previously. It brings a nice savoury flavour to meals. And a good teaspoon of, not onion salt, forgive me, not salt, onion granules, ground onion, dried and ground onion. So about a teaspoon of that, and then 2 teaspoons of paprika. This isn't hot, it's not smoked, just plain paprika. And that brings a depth of flavour to our burgers. We want to just mash that in. We also want to just pop in some fresh garlic. You can omit the garlic if you don't like it. But it again adds a nice fullness of flavour to these burgers. So I'm using two cloves of garlic here, just crush those in. And continue to mix that together. Now at this stage, we just want to add an ingredient to help bind the burgers together. And you can either add 1 egg, 1 beaten egg, and stir that in. Or, if you have it in the cupboard, you can use some chickpea flour, which I've previously mentioned can be used in place of an egg. So we want to use a tablespoon or so of chickpea flour. And then just about a tablespoon of water. And that takes the place of the egg. So it's quite useful to have in the cupboard. And chickpea flour is available in the international aisle of most supermarkets. But an egg is absolutely fine if you've got an egg still. There. And that is our finished mixture. So we then want to make our little burgers. And just get some oil. Oil the tray. Now I'm going to do 6, so I'm going to put 6 dobs of oil down to lay my burgers on. This looks a bit more, actually I might make more than 6, but it's a good place to start. So just take small orange sizes in your hands and then make them into a nice ball and then just flatten and place that on the tray on top of the oil. And again, so just work through that mixture, and that should feel nice and firm in the hands, not too crumbly. You can see that's quite firm, it's not crumbling away, and just place that down on the oil. So if I show you there in the tray. So you want to work through your mixture and build those up. And then when you've got them all in the tray, just dab a little bit more oil over the top so that they don't dry out while cooking. And then pop those in the oven for about 30 minutes at 180 until they're looking a little bit firm and a little bit golden. They will still be soft on the inside, so don't overcook. I'm just going to put these to one side and show you some I've got ready prepared. So these I've just finished. You can see they're a little bit darker in colour. Just use a spatula to remove them. They're still quite firm. And I'm going to just lay those. I've got here a platter of salad. And I'm going to just lay these over, warm from the oven, over the top. and then you can drizzle them either with some tomato sauce. So like the sauce that I made yesterday for the soup, keeping that nice and thick, and use that as a sauce rather than water down. Or you can drizzle them with some lemon mayonnaise, and I'm going to be showing you that next in my next video on how to make a lemon mayonnaise. But there you've got very, very simple, very easy recipe to use those beans that you've got in the tins in the cupboard, lay it over a platter of salad, drizzle a little lemon mayonnaise or a little oil over the top to serve, and that's a warming and nourishing dish that can be had with salad, or you can serve it with steamed vegetables or roasted vegetables. So I hope you enjoy that. Very simple, and do tune in again to hear about making some lemon mayonnaise and just how simple that can be. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.